Okay, so let's get into the incredible origin story of Nvidia. You know, the company that's pretty much at the heart of this whole AI revolution. But the real story here is its founder, Jensen Huang, and the, well, very unexpected thing that drives him. Right now, Nvidia is an absolute titan. Their GPUs, their graphics processing units, are these specialized chips that are basically the engine running everything. We're talking ChatGPT, self-driving cars, you name it. It's really no exaggeration to say they are building the future of artificial intelligence as we speak. So we know what's powering the AI boom, but what powers the guy behind it all? You know, what gets Jensen Huang going every morning? You'd probably guess it's some relentless ambition for success, right? Well, the actual answer is way more interesting than that. And there you have it, straight from the man himself. The leader of one of the most successful companies on the planet is driven more by the fear of failure than the desire for success. It's this total paradox, and it's something that has defined his entire journey.
And look, this isn't just some clever soundbite he uses. Jensen literally says he wakes up every single morning feeling like the company is just 30 days away from going out of business. Even now, as a trillion-dollar giant. That constant feeling of vulnerability, that feeling of being right on the edge, that's the secret sauce.
And you know what? That feeling wasn't just paranoia. It was forged in the fire of Nvidia's early days, a time when the company wasn't just close to failure once. It was this whole series of near-fatal crises that required these unbelievable last-minute diving catches just to stay alive.
Okay, just think about this cascade of disasters. First, they have this gut-wrenching realization that their core technology is just plain wrong, like completely flawed. So Jensen has to fly to Japan and make this impossible request to their biggest partner, Sega. He basically tells them, hey, our project is going to fail, you should find someone else. But then he has to ask, can you please give us our final payment of $5 million anyway, just so we don't die? They do it. And then he spends half of that precious cash on a single machine to test their chip designs. And get this, to figure out how to build the right kind of chip, he literally bought textbooks to teach his team from scratch. It was just absolute pure desperation.
This quote just perfectly captures that moment where everything hung in the balance. The CEO of Sega flat out told him, you're probably going to fail anyway. And Jensen knew it. He didn't make some big promise of success. He was just brutally honest about how dire things were. And against all logic, Sega's CEO said yes. That one decision, that single act of grace, is what saved Nvidia.
So, with that lifeline, Nvidia didn't just survive, it completely reinvented itself. And by pouring all of their energy into this one niche market, video games, they accidentally ended up creating the very engine that would power the next huge technological revolution. You see, for decades, tech progress was measured by Moore's Law, this steady, predictable doubling of computing power every couple of years. But Nvidia's approach, what they call accelerated computing, just completely shattered that pace. As Jensen likes to call it, it's basically Moore's Law on energy drinks.
And we are not talking about a small jump here. I mean, look at this number. In just the last 10 years, Nvidia has boosted the performance of AI computing by a factor of 100,000. That is a leap so massive, it's almost impossible to wrap your head around. And it's exactly what made today's AI possible.
So, that leads to the really big question, right? What do you do with that kind of incredible power? For Jensen, it's not about creating some exclusive technology just for the elite. He sees it as a tool that has the potential to lift everybody up.
And this gets to the heart of one of the biggest debates of our time. Is advanced AI going to create an even wider gap between the tech haves and the have-nots? Or could it actually be a great equalizer?
Well, Jensen's argument is that AI will actually close that divide. And why? Because AI is the first technology ever that speaks our language. You don't have to learn to code, you just talk to it. If you don't know how to use it, you can just ask it how to use it. Plus, because of those insane performance gains, future AI will be so energy efficient that even a version from 9 years ago will still be unbelievably powerful and accessible to everyone, everywhere.
And that brings us right back to where we started. The story of Nvidia, when you really boil it down, isn't just about chips or code. The real lesson here, the biggest takeaway, is about the mindset, the humanity that's required to innovate at this kind of scale. It all comes down to this core idea: vulnerable leadership. It's this philosophy that real strength doesn't come from pretending you have all the answers. It comes from being honest about what you don't know, and from building a team that feels safe enough to tell you when you're wrong, so you can all adapt and find the right path together.
I mean, this quote just nails it, doesn't it? The whole journey of innovation is just a series of pivots. And you can only pivot if you first admit that your current plan is wrong. That humility, that comfort with being wrong, That's the real engine of progress.
So it really leaves us with this one last thought. Nvidia's trillion-dollar future was literally built on a foundation of near-total failure. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other incredible breakthroughs are just out there, waiting for someone brave enough to fail their way towards them?